This altcoin can potentially 6x from here. Now, you probably know what it is from the title, but today I'm going to talk about Litecoin and how it can get to $1,000. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is NHM and welcome to the channel. Now, it's been a while since I talked about Litecoin because it's kind of a sleeping giant, and when it moves big, but for the majority of the time, it's just moving sideways and not doing huge moves. But as you notice, when you see big moves, it goes up multiple percentages like we saw in the past 3 weeks or so. So let's talk about Litecoin. Let's talk about why I think it's going to go to $1,000, or at least explode for now in the short term, and in the long term go to $1,000 maybe at the top or end of the cycle. Right now the total crypto market is about $2 trillion, and we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano number 3, and Solana all the way up to position number 6, which is crazy, and we have Litecoin all the way down at position number 16. Right now we see that Litecoin is kind of lagging. It's just sitting at a market cap of $11.7 billion, which is still a huge market cap, not to underestimate it. And it's also down 15% in the past 7 days. So it still has a long ways to go. Before I dive into the technical aspect of Litecoin and the chart analysis, I'm going to take a look at some of the news that might be a catalyst to Litecoin breaking previous all-time highs of $400 and go beyond that all the way to $1,000. The first piece of news I want to talk about is Grayscale's Litecoin Trust, LTCN, is now a SEC reporting company. This paves the way toward a Litecoin ETF that would be available to retail investors. Now, what this means is that this is a step closer to having a Litecoin ETF, where traditional investors or investors who generally trade in ETFs or exchange traded funds, they typically are the people who don't really mess with Bitcoin or Litecoin or any of the crypto space in general, but having an ETF would give them an easier access for them to invest. They just put the money in that ETF and that's it. Now, even though this situation might be buy the rumor, sell the news, it would definitely affect the price of Litecoin and hopefully pump it, because Litecoin ETF is a big deal, actually. And I know many people don't talk about Litecoin, but I truly believe that it has huge potential. Now, the other piece of news that blew my mind when I just read it, it's that the Litecoin Foundation announced the launch of OmniLite earlier this week, a protocol that would allow developers to issue tokens and NFTs atop the Litecoin network. So we have Ethereum NFTs, and soon enough we might have Cardano NFTs, and I believe we have Solana NFTs, but I never thought of having Litecoin NFTs, and here we are. Soon enough, we're going to have NFTs on the Litecoin network. And you saw what happened to Ethereum when we saw this huge surge in Ethereum and this huge NFT hype, right? And the same can happen with Litecoin if we see all that hype around NFTs with Litecoin. And especially with the Ethereum gas fees and how expensive it can get, Litecoin can be a solution because, number one, it has no traffic or minimal traffic compared to Ethereum. And second of all, it's way cheaper to transact with Litecoin to begin with. Usually sending Litecoins require very minimal fees. It's like 0.0000 something Litecoins, which is very, very minimal, and it's pretty quick to transact with. Also, the technology that Litecoin adopted, which is the Lightning Network, which is also what Bitcoin uses, is heavily underestimated in my opinion, or underrated. Now let's jump into the chart of Litecoin and where it is and how it's looking and whether it's a good opportunity to buy right now. So right now the price is $175 per Litecoin, and we saw a huge run up, and the past 6 weeks or so we've been on an uptrend until this week we saw all this FUD that happened and all that stuff, and this went down about 25%, which is scary correction. I'd admit it's scary for some people, but right now we're holding on this resistance, which is now a support. It's a very strong resistance that proved itself over time. We resisted it once over here, we got supported over here, resisted again here, and now it's a support. So right now I believe this is a good buying opportunity. By the way, this is not financial advice. And if you take a look at the other chart that excites me every time I look at it, it's the LTC versus Bitcoin chart. So if you're new to this channel, you probably don't know what that is, and that is the ratio of dividing LTC divided by Bitcoin. So basically, if you divide the price of Litecoin by the price of Bitcoin, you get this number, 0.003854. Now, what this does is it shows you which one is performing better. And the lower the number means Bitcoin is performing better, and the higher this number, it means Litecoin is performing better than Bitcoin. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that Litecoin goes down and Bitcoin goes up, or vice versa. What it means is Litecoin may be performing better than Bitcoin. Like, they can both be going up, but if Litecoin goes up at a quicker rate, then this chart would go up and up and up. So right now we're at this discounted zone right here, which we haven't seen for, I would say, since April. So that's 3 months. And believe me, when we saw Litecoin go up here, I thought that, okay, so people, if they want to buy Litecoin right now, they still can, but they're going to miss out on a lot of gains. If you buy in here, you can get potential 160%. But if you buy all the way down there, you have a potential of 370%. And that's not the all-time bottom. So right now we're back at this discounted zone where I truly think it's an opportunity that shouldn't be missed. At least I know I won't miss it myself. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this kind of content, I would really appreciate if you can hit that like button. Now let's keep going. With this, if you take a look at it, the majority of the sell-off already happened. So for me, it's not the time to bet against it, but it's time to bet that this would go up, because since that major sell-off happened, chances are we're going to see an uptrend after this. And with the news that we saw earlier about the grayscale and the Omnilight, which is huge, I think we have a huge potential to go up. Now, keep in mind, guys, all this is based on Bitcoin performing well. If Bitcoin doesn't perform well, everything I said is thrown out the window. But if Bitcoin goes or performs well and everything goes smoothly, we can see Litecoin push up to this area, or maybe potentially this area, which is a 6x from here. A 6x from here against Bitcoin doesn't necessarily mean a 6x in the price. It depends. Bitcoin might go down while Litecoin might steal the stage, it's a rare situation, but it may happen, and we might see these gains. Or let's say a conservative 5x from here. It's not very conservative, but it's definitely possible. We can see Litecoin go up all the way to $1,000. So right now, let's aim for a 2.5x all the way to $400, which is extremely possible in my opinion, and I don't think it's that far off. And guys, one more thing, we saw a huge run up a few months ago. We went all the way to $420, and we saw a huge correction, as you can see right there. After that, we saw a huge run up. This is pretty good if you ask me. So we went up all the way here. So guys, if we see a correction like this, don't be alarmed, because if we go up in a straight line like this is definitely unhealthy and unsustainable. But if we see something like this with a correction, then after that we press a bit higher, and then we correct, then we press a bit higher, then we correct, then we break previous all-time highs, then we correct. That's ideal. That's how markets work, and that's how markets go up in a healthy way. It's not just inflated because all of the leverage that's going on. And guys, believe it or not, I know many people said that the crash was based on all this news that's going on and all the FUD that's happening, well, from the SEC and Coinbase and all that. But I would say 80% of the things that are happening because of people being over leveraged, people borrowing money and trading with money that they don't have. And that's how we're seeing these huge sell-off like this right here, which is about 25%, as we said earlier, which is crazy. So be careful. Don't trade with the leverage unless you really know what you're doing, and invest safely. Don't invest money you're not willing to lose. And that's it. That's what I think. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.